From Texas Public Radio, this is Texas Matters, a weekly radio news magazine that looks at the issues, events, and people in the Lone Star State. Today on Texas Matters, is Texas ready for guns out in the open? How the open carry movement is taking off like a bullet.
If you can legally purchase a firearm, you should be able to carry it.
Is your Starbucks getting grounded? One Frappuccino fanatic wants to save her small-town Starbucks.
The baristas were not just baristas, they're family.
And the chupacabra isn't so bad after all.
A misunderstood creature, and we're hoping that it gives chupacabras a good name everywhere.
It's been over 10 years since Texans got the right to carry a concealed handgun. Now Texas gun rights advocates want to pack their heat with pride right in the open. They're looking for open carry in Texas. Ian McCarthy has started an online petition that he hopes will lead to a new law in Texas granting open carry in the state.
Well, open carry is basically carrying a firearm on your side, exposed, sort of in the manner that, a police officer or some type of law enforcement official would.
Anyone basically should be able to just put a gun on their hip and walk around with it.
Yeah, there is open carry in most of the United States. In fact, Texas is one of only 6 states that restricts it. Some states allow anyone who can legally purchase a firearm to open carry. Some states require that you go through some sort of certification process, such as we have in Texas for a concealed handgun license. Most of us that are behind this movement feel that if you can legally purchase a firearm, you should be able to carry it.
So you've gone online and you've started a petition. How's that going?
It's actually going pretty well. I started it back in November. It started off to a little slow start, and then I started gaining some support. Now I think it's about 22,500 signatures, and I've been getting a lot of contacts from the press and organizations. I'm actually working closely with opencarry.org, and we're hoping to get billboards up and really get this thing spreading like wildfire throughout the state.
Have you spoken to any lawmakers in Texas who would be willing to sponsor a bill to allow open carry in Texas?
I haven't yet. I'm also working with the Texas Citizens Defense League, and they tell me that they're trying to draft up a bill that they can hopefully get someone to back. I'm not sure if Gary, the president, has someone yet. I'm not really. I haven't talked to him in about a week, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to try to get this introduced into this next legislation that I believe is somewhere in January.
We already have concealed carry of weapons. You go out, you get a license, you're able to, carry a handgun as long as you don't wave it around in public. Why isn't that good enough?
Especially in Texas, when you have, our summers. Just the other day, it was well above 100. It's too hot to properly conceal a firearm. It's actually a crime if you let your concealed handgun become temporarily exposed even for a second, or even if someone can tell through your clothing that you have a gun underneath it, and you can actually have your license revoked for a minimum of 5 years just for that. This would also protect people with concealed carry license, and we just believe that a person should be able to choose which way they carry their firearm. We're not trying to get rid of concealed carry. We like that. But we think that there should be a choice, and people should have that right to choose.
If open carry is passed, then anyone without even going through a class program like they have for concealed carry would be allowed to carry a gun, as long as you're over 18.
Well, over 18, you wouldn't be able to purchase a handgun, but you can actually legally own a firearm if it's, I believe if it's given to you with a gift. But as far as the age limits and as far as whether or not training, that's really up to the legislature. We're just trying to get some type of open carry in Texas, and we're kind of shooting for the stars and hoping for the best. There's people for open carry, there's people against it, and there's two sides to every story. But open carry has advantages and disadvantages as well as concealed carry. A lot of people say that open carry has a deterrent factor. Let's say a criminal walks into a convenience store and sees someone with a gun on their side. They might think twice about robbing that place. And obviously, open carry is not for people to go around and be police officers and stop crime. It's just easier to protect themselves.
Now, earlier you mentioned that it is against the law or if you have a concealed gun permit in Texas, if someone sees your weapon, that you can be arrested or you can have your license taken away from up to 5 years. Has that ever happened to your knowledge?
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's happened all over the place. I mean, and I know I heard just I'm in Kyle, and I heard just a couple weeks ago someone in a nearby town, San Marcos, was in a bank that I frequent, and they were leaving, and it was accidentally their gun or still in blew their shirt up, and somebody happened to see it and freaked. So he's sitting in the bank talking to the managers, and all these police swarm in, and they get him on the ground and search him because they didn't know what to believe. It's kind of sad that people are so afraid of guns.
So are you like a advocate of gun rights? Is that what you consider yourself?
Yes.
Are there any other constitutional rights that you consider yourself an advocate for?
Well, I mean, all constitutional rights, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and, it's the Second Amendment for a reason. It's, one of the most important things that our founding fathers wanted, and, the right to bear arms, I think, should be to carry them on you.
Do you have any other kind of petitions in support of freedom to assembly or anything else?
No. I mean, I haven't really started any other petitions on anything else besides open carry. The
argument when we were talking about concealed carry, that it was going to lead to blood and guts in the street and gunfights and what have you, what actually we've seen is a steady decrease in violent crime since the 1995 signing of the concealed carry law in Texas. Mm-hmm. What do you say to people when they say that is going to bring about violence in the streets?
Well, it's people get that whole stigma. I hear all the time, oh, you're trying to go back to the Wild Wild West. But, for one, what you see in the movies that's not how the West really was, because the old saying, an armed society is a polite society. If people are armed, you're probably going to be pretty nice to them. And, I mean, I'm not saying that, people are going to start shooting each other over simple arguments, That's not the point of carrying a gun. But when you know that other people are armed, they're no longer helpless, defenseless victims. I just think someone that's carrying a firearm openly, where criminals can see that, they'll be like, well, that's not a very good target, because they're actually going to fight back.
Ian McCarthy is a gun rights advocate and the promoter of an open carry law in Texas. There's more information available at opencarry.org.